Coach, you take on Calumet College at home in Mutt this Sunday. How do you feel about the upcoming matchup?
Feel good. It's more about us. I tell our guys all the time, listen, we're obviously competing against Calumet, but we're also competing against ourselves. Can I see growth in our system defensively, offensively, the way that we want to play? Can we execute?
How does your mindset stay the same regardless of the opponent you're playing?
Yeah, we always say it's a faceless opponent. It's all about us. It's our standard. Are we playing hard? Are we playing together? Are we the most connected team on the floor? And then are we executing our offensive and defensive system? Can we see growth in our defensive side, especially starting with our transition defense? Because I thought that's really where we got hurt against Indiana State early on.
This Sunday marks the fourth home game in a row. We then travel to take on Cincinnati and Bellarmine. What does playing at home mean, and how does this differ from when you take on an away game?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to have home games. Be able to have the home crowd behind you. Man, it makes a huge difference. We were fortunate to get as many home games as we had this year. And then you said it, we're going to be going to Cincinnati, going to Bellarmine, which will be our first true road games other than Georgia. So it's been a while because it feels like Georgia's been a while, been almost a month away since we played a road game. So we'll have our hands full in those games. Obviously, Cincinnati will be a great environment, and so will Bellarmine. But the nice thing is they are local. So it's easy travel, and they're both very good basketball brands, and we want to play against good teams.
We have a lot of young contributors on this team. Can you touch on the progression they've made since the start of the year?
Yeah, I'll start with Billy Smith, who's a freshman from Indianapolis. He's done a great job. We've asked a lot of Billy. He's had games where he's been the marathon man. He played all 40 minutes against Georgia, which if you'd have told me that he was going to do that back in June, I'd have been like, whoa. But he's really gotten better. He's Mr. Reliable. He's in the right spots. He can really, really, really shoot the ball. I think the game's starting to slow down a little bit for him as far as decision-making on both ends of the floor, which I think that'll continue to help his growth. And then he's got to continue to get stronger. We know that, but that'll take time with Coach Carsey, who does a tremendous job. Ryan Mabry, I think's really improved during that. If you look at his game log this year, kind of how he started the first 3 to 4 games, he kind of was struggling shooting the ball. I thought some of it was his shot selection and rhythm. And now you're starting to see he's starting to value other things in his game. He's much more than a shooter. And I think you'll see his shooting percentage is skyrocketing as well. But he looks like a really, really good player out there on the floor. He can make plays for others. He can shoot the ball, score it. He's big. He's got good size for his position. So really like the progression he's made. Jaquel Morris has gotten better. He's had some great moments, and he's also had some of that emoji where like the head explodes. That's sometimes me with Jaquel. But he's had some really good moments against Georgia, Indiana, Marshall. You talk about 3 of the bigger teams, more athletic teams we played against. He's actually looked pretty dang good in those games, and he impacts us a lot on that defensive end. And his offense will catch up over in time. But, he's got to really rebound the ball and give us that rim presence defensively. And then you got guys like Mitchell Riley and Eli Yofan who have both been playing as well. And, those guys are getting better. And they haven't had as big of an opportunity as maybe Billy and Ryan and Jaquel. But they're getting a little bit of experience. But, again, they are getting better in practice.
How has the leadership from your team captains Makai, Anderson, and Morgan impacted the team?
Yeah, I always say, listen, the player-led teams are way better than coach-led teams. And we need to continue to get even better leadership from those guys. And when I say leadership, it's easy to lead when things are going well. It's when you get punched in the mouth. It's when you hit adversity. What's going to be our response? And we only have so many timeouts, right, that we can call to really rally up the troops. So we have to be able to do that live play, be able to go next play. Like, what's our response going to be? And those guys know what they need to do, and we got to continue to do that. But that's the key for us, leading during those tough moments and be able to execute our way out of trouble.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thanks.